What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Welcome back to the Morning View with plenty of Manchester United news and discussion to get into. And Manchester United fans, this may have been the update that some have been waiting for, because Lisandro Martinez is back on the grass. Yes, he's stepping up his recovery, and now the conversation has completely changed. This is no longer just when is Leeds back. It's, do United throw him straight back in against Leeds? And the reason that question is suddenly massive or bigger than it would have been previously, because of course Harry Maguire is suspended for that game after getting sent off in the last fixture. So straight away there is real temptation to look at Leeds and say, well, if he's fit enough, maybe you play him. We don't have a lot of options there. Certainly all of our senior options aren't there. We've got Lenny Yoro and Aiden Heaven, but they're a bit young. And that's where the debate really gets interesting. On one side, you know, United have missed him, the aggression, the leadership, the passing through the lines. So many people have been talking about this, saying, well, look, our build-up play is not the same without Leeds. You get the fight, the edge. Leeds gives United all of it. And, of course, if he's in the squad, in the trip to Ireland where we're doing this training camp and Leeds is the target, loads of fans will be thinking the same thing. We need him. Even without Maguire there's even more reason to bring him straight back in. But let's be honest here. When Leeds plays, you know, United do have a different edge to them, but he also does have his injury history. And throwing him back in too early, we're going to lose Leeds for even longer. There's the other side. Do you really risk one of your most important defenders too early just because the need is there, just because Maguire is injured? Do you give in to temptation because Maguire is banned, or do you stay disciplined? Do you protect Leeds properly, and do you make sure you don't lose him again 5 minutes after getting him back? That's the balance, isn't it? That's the balance you've got to get right here, because the boost could be huge, but the risk is obvious too. So the question to you guys is, with Maguire suspended, would you start Lisandro against Leeds if he's available? Is the temptation just too big? Does he instantly improve United's defense? Have United missed him more than a lot of other absences? Get your thought in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe to United View if indeed you are new. We've got plenty to discuss this morning. We are going to be talking about Leeds and the possibility of him being back for the Leeds game, of course. We've also got a little bit of a transfer update. I know Flex and KG spoke about this last night on the Flex and KG show with Illiman and Dye. We're going to be talking about that and anything else, of course, that happens whilst we're live in this hour this morning. So click the like button. Be sure to subscribe. We're going to have some fun this morning. Amanor says, Flex, hold that, you muppet. Well done, Twanzabi. Well, I don't know. Look, this is a solo in. This is a solo in show, you know, this morning. And, you know, maybe Flex is just too devastated, right? Maybe Flex is just too devastated. You know, that looked like I was bringing Flex in. That's TTS. Maybe Flex is just too devastated by what happened last night. And I said, look, Fleck, representing, you know, Jamaica, where we're both from, and, you know, representing our collective background, you know, and our collective heritage, I think it would be appropriate, you know, one of us has to come out the following morning and, you know, put a brave face on it and, you know, put a bit of a statement out there. Devastated. Yeah, obviously devastated. Apparently England might have played last night. I don't know about that. You know my heritage. So yeah. I mean, World Cup next year. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not even going to watch it. Just, you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. If only there was something that could cheer me up. If only there was something that could just, you know, make me happy and make me forget about what happened last night with DR Congo and Jamaica. If only there was something. Oh, I've got an idea, actually. This will cheer me up. Yeah, this is good.
Today's video is sponsored by our friends at Oxford Natural and their all-new natural supplement, Optimum Day and Night. Thousands across the UK, USA and beyond are smashing their health goals with Oxford Natural. Optimum Day gives you steady energy, curbs your cravings and keeps your metabolism firing all day. Optimum Night helps you relax, get restorative sleep, recover and keep burning fat while you rest. It's not a magic pill, but it will help you reach your health goals. Check out some of the incredible results. Two of our own. Owen lost over 100 pounds in 10 months and KG dropped 30 pounds in 4 months. In 8 months, football legend Michael Owen lost 35 pounds and Robbie from AFTV, Don Robbie, lost over 80 pounds. And in 6 months, Anita, an award-winning immigration lawyer, lost 44 pounds. And Linda, a law firm executive, lost over 50 pounds. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural, let's get to work.
Yes, let's get to work indeed. You can scan the QR code to subscribe and save up to 70% off your first order. All you have to do is scan the QR code, click the link in the video description. It's pinned in the chat as well. Use the code UV. You can get your Optimum Day, which is good for your weight loss goals and curbing your cravings as well. Or you can get your Optimum Night, which is good for your restorative sleep and keeps your metabolism firing while you rest as well. You can get them individually or combined. Any which way you need, you can get Optimized today. Indeed, Optimized. Optimized. Yes, spring has broken. I'm not going to break into song, but summer is on the horizon. It's not too late. You can get Optimized indeed as well. Yes, Kristen, you're right. Went up 180k subscribers from that advert. Impressive. UV is on the rise, mate. UV is very much on the rise. Yes, but we do have a lot to talk about this morning. We do have to talk about, as I mentioned, Leacher. A bit of an update on Lisandro Martinez being possibly available for the next game against Leeds, possibly being in this training camp that's going to be taking place in Ireland. We're going to be talking a little bit more about some transfers and everything else that happens as well. So let's get straight into this Leach news, some positive Lisandro Martinez news indeed, which you can see right here on the screen. Came from Sully Talks. Big up Sully, as always, friend of the channel. Says, Lisandro Martinez has now returned to individual grass training as he steps up his recovery ahead of his return from injury. Will be a huge boost for Michael Carrick's side, given Harry Maguire's suspension and, of course, de Ligt's back injury. I mean, my goodness, when it comes to Matthijs de Ligt, I mean, let's be honest here. And we can be honest here amongst ourselves. We're part of the UV community this morning. De Ligt ain't playing again this season, is he? I'd be really surprised at this point. I mean, it's April. Pinch punch, first day of the month, April Fools. None of that April Fools Day shit. You know what I mean? Because, you know, when if you work in an office, or, you know, just in general, actually, not even like working in an office, but it's better. If you've ever worked in an office, you know, it's bad for this shit on April Fool's Day, isn't it? You know what I mean? When they do that whole, a little bit of a memo going around, folks. The company's been bought and it's closing down by the end of the week. And you go like, oh. And you go, it's April Fool's Day, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, great. You're such a class clown. You got us. So none of that. No, this is not an April Fool's Day joke. But when it comes to de Ligt, it doesn't look good, does it? Really? With him, I don't think. I mean, how many games are there left in the Prem this season for Manchester United? Is it 7? 7 games left for us. You know, I'd be very surprised at this point. I mean, when was the last time de Ligt played? Was it December? De Ligt transfer market. I think it was December, wasn't it? Something like that. And, you know, he hadn't played for, 4 or 5 months now at this point. I don't suspect it's gonna, I mean, I guess the hope would be maybe with him is that, and Sully did mention this before, that he has come close a couple of times and there have just been, he's had terrible luck and, he's had a real bad go of it when it does come to the injuries this season, particularly that back injury, because he had, like I said, he has come close a couple of times and then suffered the same setback or a similar setback or what have you. But I'd be really, really surprised. And if anything, to be honest, when an injury's been going on for this long, for him, de Ligt, once you start getting to this stage of the season and this length of time, you already start sort of writing this season off, even, and just go, look, forget World Cup, forget coming back this season to see if you can make it back next season, right? We've got a big season ahead, hopefully Champions League, but European football, hopefully some big signings that come with that as well. Just get yourself ready for next season because and it's not even like this season's been a disaster for de Ligt as well. Before the injury, good performances, difficult time. He's playing centre back in the Amarim back three, and we know the deficiencies with all of that. But he was doing well. Lots of people were talking about, hey, consistent defender and one of our best players and consistent players and this, that, and the other. And then now to have the back injury and the length of time out that he has had, it's really, really disappointing for him. So this season's a write-off. But then going back to Leacher, we now find ourselves, of course, in the quandary again going, we don't have a lot of options for that game against Leeds Monday night at Old Trafford. We don't have a ton of options. Of course, it's the sins of the past in the that terrible refereeing performance in the last game coming back to bite us, because Harry Maguire is sent off, and that means he misses the game, of course. So now we have a situation where who are the centre backs that are going to be available for that game against Leeds? It's what, Yoro, Heaven. Is that the only actual definitive centre-backs, proper centre-backs we have available? Am I missing anyone? De Ligt injured, Maguire suspended, Leacher on the way back. That's it. That's it, isn't it? Unless I'm having a brain fart. It is early. So the temptation is there, certainly. And I know obviously there's always the bit of a reluctance, isn't there, with Yoro and Heaven of, look, they're young. I mean, it's one of those. Leeds is a weird game, isn't it? Leeds is a strange game because on paper, you would go, look, they're lower down in the table. You're at home. If there were games you could get away with having a centre-back pairing that are they both early 20s? Early 20s. You can maybe get away with it, but it is also Leeds. There is also the rivalry and the derby aspect of that. And Leeds are doing, they're in half decent form, aren't they? That could be, a bit of a shaky situation for them, or it might be a baptism by fire. They might just be, fine, no problem. With the Leacher one, though, and this is when you would sort of assume that he should be ready and available to come back by that point because remember when he got the injury in the first place, you remember the conversation or the line out of the club, and this is why I've said I don't want to hear the term minor injury ever used again, because even with this Leacher one, it was, yeah, he's out, but it's not going to be long. What was it? Was it a calf problem? I think it was. He's got a calf problem. He'll be back by the next game. You know what I mean? He'll be back by the next game, or he'll be in training. It wasn't even he'll be back for the next game. He'll be back in training by the end of the week. Don't worry about that. He'll be back by the end of the week, couple of days. Maybe the following week. Fine, not an issue. And then he's ended up missing a couple of games. So one would hope if it wasn't that big of an issue in the first place, but then it did end up missing a few games, maybe he might be ready in time. And that was the whole kind of, trying to look at the glass half full, I suppose, with this 3-week break going, well, we've got some injuries. Hopefully by the time the 3 weeks are up, we'll have some players come back in. So the simple and safe answer is, look, if he's ready, if he's fit and ready to play, which touchwood he will be, you have a training camp, mini preseason with this 3 weeks off. Allegedly, it was minor at the start. If he's ready, then yes, play him. If he's not, then you're just going to have to find an alternative solution, aren't you? Whether that is Aiden Heaven and Lenny Yoro, which would be massively concerning, not because of quality. Lenny Yoro, obviously, ceiling is really, really high. Aiden Heaven has done really well this season when he's played at centre-back, just like he did last season, to be fair. But this season, I remember when he came in, was it Wolves at Old Trafford? I think his first game, I forget whenever it was. And he looked a bit shaky, or it might have been West Ham at Old Trafford. I forget. But he had he looked a bit shaky then, and then he went on a string of games, didn't he, where he looked more and more confident and looked, more comfortable in that position. So if it is Heaven and Yoro for one game, it is what it is. Maybe it's Leacher for 60 minutes. Maybe it's Leacher for, not the whole game, but just enough to get through it. And then hopefully the result by that point is relatively calm. The match is relatively calm as it can be against Leeds at Old Trafford. But we have had some quite comfortable results against them over several years, haven't we, there? And also uncomfortable ones. But hopefully by that point, maybe, Leacher, everything's calm. Leacher does 60 minutes, and that's fine for him. So, yes, back in training, going to be in this training camp and what have you ahead of the game against Leeds. Remember when Manchester United used to play games? I was talking to Flex about this yesterday. Just like we have. I'll go full screen for this because it is true. We've got so used, I think, at least I know I have, to Man United just not playing games. We were chatting yesterday, Flex and myself. We were like, last season, because of obviously getting to the Europa League final, and certainly in the Ten Hag years, we went deep, didn't we, into the domestic cup competitions. Carabao Cup won it, FA Cup won it. We got so used to playing every 3 days, just constantly. And I suppose, look, it's Manchester United history that, you playing all the time. Now it's just like a completely different thing, isn't it? Like football, as life as a Man United fan at the moment, football just tends to happen around you. Your team doesn't really get involved that much, which is, I guess, positive. You look at last season where we're involved all the time, but we're just losing all the time. But you still want to be involved, irrespective of a positive or negative result, don't you? Whereas you just watch stuff happen. You watch the FA Cup happen around you. You watch the Carabao Cup final happen around you. You watch, Champions League and Europa League and all this stuff happen just around you, and you have zero, not even influence. It'd be one thing to have influence, just involvement in the competition, let alone, we've kind of got used to, haven't we, watching a title race happen without our involvement, because we're very rarely involved in that. But just in the competition alone, just not barely involved. So, my goodness me, this season finished on a high, finished strongly, and then just bloody be involved again. This is why last season I wasn't big on the no Europe thing. And I guess you could make an argument to say, look, it has worked out for us because we're third in the league and we've actually got some momentum somehow. But God, need the games. Need the games. And but and this is why a lot of people have been talking about next season with Carrick and whether he's the right man for the job, this, that, and the other, because we just haven't been playing games, have we, this season? So how do you know how it's going to all be handled next season? It's there's so many questions surrounding Manchester United at the moment. Amanor, the second super chat in the morning, says, I would sell Leach this summer. Old Kenny was right. Well, first of all, Kenny is going to outlive all of us. I don't know what that word is, Amanor. Old Kenny is a sprightly young man. And yet wiser than us all. Kenny. No, he said about the Leach thing before. It's funny, isn't it, that? Because I remember, I think it was last week or whenever that was last brought up, someone said, oh, no, Kenny just was reacting to the initial news at the time. And he didn't get that right. He didn't predict that one right. That was just lucky. But as we've spoke on Friday, when it comes to the Trinity, with KG and the Lewis Skelly thing and the Mbumo thing that KG did back in, what was that, 2024? I think it was. Hey, if you put it out there, you know what I mean? It doesn't even matter if, I suppose, you really meant it at the time. Hey, you can circle back. So Kenny, you know what I mean? He was onto something, whether his intentions were pure or nefarious at the time. He was onto something. He saw it. He saw the future ahead. He said, I see Leacher and more injuries coming. So yes, big up to Kenny. Doing bowls in the summer. Well, no, actually, no, he goes to Lanzarote in the winter. And when the weather gets nice, that's when he comes back and he'll be playing some bowls. So yes, big up to Kenny, and actually big up to KG the comedian also as well, because I once again did not see the Flex and KG show last night. I was having a relaxing night off, but I did see in the comments someone was trying to hold Mr. the comedian to task by saying Matoma KG, because I think KG had suggested Man United maybe look at like a Matoma or someone like that, and he said someone said Matoma. KG the comedian, how dare you say Matoma? KG the scout in 2026, you need more scholaring. Wow, look what happened last night with England and Japan and Matoma. Maybe he's onto something. Hey, maybe he's onto something. I saw a stat this morning, which was, I think it was Thomas Tuchel. It was something like Thomas Tuchel has overseen England's first loss to a team from Asia and Africa. Is that true? There are a lot of ridiculous stats coming out of last night and the World Cup qualifications, by the way. Good gracious. Did you see all of the Italy ones? Have you guys seen all of these Italy statistics? Obviously, Italy, once again, are not going to a World Cup. And I remember when I was having when I was doing one of my Gareth Southgate rants, a couple of years ago, I think it was, and I said, we lost to an Italy team that wasn't even that good in a Euros final, and a home tournament in Wembley. I still look back on that. How the fuck did we screw that up? And at the time, I remember getting pushback, going, no, Italy were good. Italy are good. They're a good team. They haven't played in World Cups for over a decade, for like 12 years. You know what I mean? Some of these stats, and I was just, getting ready this morning, and I was seeing some of these stats. These are, file these under the headline, stats that look like they should be untrue, but they are true. These are remarkable. Some of these statistics, right, are incredible. I had to show you guys this morning. Look at this. Italy have not played in a World Cup knockout match since the creation of the iPhone in January 2007. Holy fucking shit. That's ridiculous. Think how our society has changed. Think how much our society has changed in that time. Just like the creation of this, right? This iPhone, right? You go out in public now, right? You go out in public, what do you see? You see this everywhere. Everyone's got one, right? You go out onto the bus, the train, the tube. You go sit in the doctor's office. Everyone is on their iPhone. The last time Italy played in a World Cup knockout match was before this even fucking existed. Right? That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, granted, they have played a World Cup since. They haven't played in a knockout match. Holy cow. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. Crazy. You know? This one was crazy as well. No one has ever live tweeted about Italy winning a World Cup or a World Cup knockout match either, because the first tweet was in March 2000. Oh no, the first tweet was Jack Fowler, March 2006. But the first public first was able to start tweeting on July 15, 2006. Italy won the World Cup on July 9th, so they couldn't cover that final. Like, what? Like, again, that's unbelievable. And the last match they played at the World Cup, can anyone name the last match they played at a World Cup? It's incredible. And it's like, it's when you think of Italy in recent World Cups, because you have to take mine back, but when was the last match that Italy played in a World Cup? Can anyone name that match in the chat? I will wait. Mr. A Prophet says, at least we can get Baleba and Tonali transfer early. Well, hey, you never know. And this isn't a and remember, not knockout or anything like that. This is just a World Cup match in general. It's quite it's very well known, the match in question, for a very controversial reason and someone doing repeat offending behavior in said match. That's all the clues I will give you this morning on United View. The last one's quite an obvious one, to be fair. No right answers yet in the chat, by the way, as well. It is stumping people. Because and it's kind of stumped me, because obviously I remembered them winning in 2006, and I remember them playing in 2010 in South Africa, because they played New Zealand, I think, in their group. But they did do one more tournament after that, which again is once again another shove. This was the last match, and no one's got it at the moment, actually. Italy haven't played at a World Cup since 2014, which was against Uruguay. And it's the game where Luis Suarez bit Giorgio Chiellini. That's the last time they played a match. And the last time they played a knockout match was in 2006. Unbelievable. How did England lose to Italy in that Euros final? Just how? There should be Gareth Southgate, man. I should have at least a victory, at least a trophy in the lifetime. That was the one. That truly felt like that was the one. Oh God. Honestly. It's crazy. In fact, Italy more recently won the World Cup than won a knockout tie in 90 minutes at a World Cup. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's just crazy, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just, oh my God. How? But yeah, so because of that, as was mentioned here by Mr. Prophet in the super chat, it is true. Maybe that changes, the Tonali thing. Maybe that does changes the pursuit of, Sandro Tonali in the summer. because he's got a very free open one, doesn't he? So maybe suddenly that's one to watch for. And actually, you know, we were saying the other day, and maybe it has changed because of some of the reports that have obviously come out in the days following, but as of sort of last weekend, we were going, I tell you what, that midfield or those midfield signings are kind of looking a bit Tonali and Belabor-ish, wasn't it? That's what everyone was saying at the time. That, you know, maybe Elliot Anderson is going to Man City. Kind of feels like maybe they're leading the race with that one. Even some reports coming out and saying it. Belabor and Tonali, that's the two that feel like the most likely to happen. Hey, as far as I'm aware, they're not both of them. They're not going to the World Cup, are they? Are they not? Right? That's not. So if they're available, we could get that done early, right? Get that done early. Get that sealed up, Steve McLaren style, seal it up. Maybe before the World Cup even starts, you know. Then Manchester United are in a good position by the time all the players come back from the World Cup. Yes, we're still working on deals, but that's still that big midfield, you know, rebuild has a lot of work already done on it. Maybe this is a blessing for Manchester United, right? Maybe, and these are just questions we're asking here, maybe this kind of forces the question a little bit as well. If Man United are on the fence about certain targets, certain players, maybe this comes into it. Maybe one of the things that does come into the situation is, all right, we are interested in, say, Elliot Anderson, but that one's it's a bit nip and tuck whether we're leading that race, whether we can get him. Plus, we might actually have to wait till after the World Cup. A bit later on, we can go get Tonali and Belabor now. And then once we've done them, we can focus on left wing. We can focus on maybe looking for another midfielder. We can focus on maybe a fullback in that time. You know, we're getting things done and moving them out the way quickly. So maybe in a way it is a bit of a blessing in disguise if you just have firmly your Manchester United hat on instead of your Italy or Cameroon hat on or what have you. So we'll see. We'll see with that one. Yeah, Italy again, not making it to the World Cup. England, my God. Zucha says, where's my glorious, handsome Prince Flex? Well, he's not here this morning, obviously. You know, I can neither confirm or deny the reports or rumors, Zuta, that you've chased him off. You know, maybe there's sort of lawsuits and litigation being filed. I'm not sure. You know, for me, I think you're only paying compliments. You know, just paying compliment, just saying that some mornings that his eyes look nice, or you know, you enjoy the clothes that he's wearing that morning. He's, you know, a very fashionable person. He likes his trainers as well, his sneakers. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You do you, Zuta. Okay, you do you. You're not going to get any pushback from me. You will get a lot from Flex. You will get a lot from him. But you do you. You know, nothing wrong with that. You know, but yes, he is not here. It's a solo-in show this morning. And speaking of which, where are we at in terms of likes? We're over 100 likes. So if you haven't already, click the like button. And also be sure to subscribe. Let's see if we can get to 150 likes, 200 as well on this Wednesday, Hump Day, April 1st, and getting closer and closer to Manchester United actually playing football again. Yes, it's not immediate. There's still a way to go, but we're getting there, you know. And it's Easter weekend this weekend, isn't it? So just relax, you know. Because when I was talking to Flex about the games not being, you know, prevalent at the moment, I did say you do have to, in a sense, though. I kind of not enjoy it, but take it for what it is, don't you? And go, oh yeah, well, maybe I've got a bit of extra time not watching Manchester United at the moment. I should maybe make the most of it, because touch wood, hopefully, if things go the way we hope they will go, next season will be very busy, right? You know, hopefully next season will be very busy. Hopefully next season we will be playing, you know, much more frequently, and hopefully next season we're having discussions about, we're playing too many games. We need to I mean, with the way the fan base moves, I if anything, I can kind of half confirm that will probably be a discussion. Probably in about 6 months' time. So what's this? We're in April now. So yeah, about 6 months' time. October of this year, we'll be going, there's just too many games to get involved in. We got too many games. So I suppose in this sense, we still have to enjoy the peace while we have it, if you want. Zoot says, why is he suing me? He doesn't like me. Hey, nothing's been filed yet, mate. Nothing's been filed yet, mate. You know, so yeah, maybe we do have a UV court at some point. You know, Zuta on trial for harassing flex. Maybe that is the case. Maybe we do have a UV court for that. So we'll see. Skiliardo says we need a much bigger and high quality squad for next season. The current squad can't cope competing on two fronts. I totally agree, and that's why I go back to, with the Italy stuff involving maybe Tonali and Belabor and his availability in the summer, with not playing in the World Cup, because there is just so much to do. And I think also this is why there's been so many stories over the last few days. I did see a few people saying this in the chat and in the comments, because you know me, I'll always read, try and get some of you guys' opinions, positive, negative, constructive or not. I saw some people saying, and it is true, that we knew this was coming, didn't we? We knew this was coming. We knew this 3-week period was going to be filled with a lot of noise. We knew it was going to be filled with a lot of noise, a lot of links, a lot of chats, a lot of players that we're going after, then we're not going after, then their price has gone up, their price has gone down, wages and what have you. We knew this was going to happen, but it hasn't stopped it from still feeling quite overwhelming at certain points, has it? We touched on it yesterday. I mean, just look at the weekend. You know, I touched on it. The weekend, it really did feel like, all right, we're getting Tonali. Cool. You know, Tonali, that's be a great signing. But yeah, we're front of the queue, as some of the reports said. You know, we're front of the queue, Tonali. All right, Tonali. Not getting Elliot Anderson. Anderson maybe feels a bit more City-ish, but okay, Tonali's good. Probably get Belabor as well. All right, yeah, that can work. You know, it's probably need another midfielder. Casemiro going, Ugarte probably going. You need probably another one, but all right, that's cool. And then the next day, you get, oh no, Man United, they're going all in on Elliot Anderson. Yeah, he's going to cost 100 million, but United, they're going to try and get a deal done before the World Cup. And you go, you know, full on Don Robbie settings. I haven't pressed the button in a while.
Hold on, wait a minute.
You go, wait a minute. I thought yesterday we weren't leading that race. What the hell's going there? So this is, my point being is, this is what this period of time has been and will probably continue to be, won't it? We will get linked with that pool of midfielders. Flex made the really good point yesterday. It's the same as it was last summer with the strikers. Everyone knew this selection of players was available. I say this a lot with January windows, but last summer it was definitely with the strikers. We knew that Gyökeres was on the move. Šeško was on the move. Delap was on the move. Osimhen was on the move. What other strikers were? Nicholas Jackson was on the move. That's like 4 or 5 of name there. We knew a bunch of strikers were on the move last summer. It was just a case of who goes where. They're all going to go to certain clubs, quite a few Premier League clubs, right? Arsenal, Chelsea, and United. So we all knew they were going to go into these certain clubs. You just got to figure out the same. And it's kind of the same with midfielders this coming summer, isn't it? We know that Anderson, he's going to move. Adam Wharton, going to move. One of the Newcastle midfielders is probably going to move as well. There was a big story last night. Don't know if you guys saw it, with Newcastle expected to get hit with a big fine because they've broken a bunch of financial rules. They tried to do the old Chelsea trick. I don't know if you saw this. They tried to do the Chelsea trick where they sold. What did they sell? Was it a training ground or a hotel? Newcastle tried to sell. I know Chelsea sold a hotel. I think Newcastle tried to sign. Was it their sell there? I think it was their stadium. That was it. This came from Martin Ziegler, big financial football guy. Said Newcastle face a potential hefty fine. I'll get it up on the screen for you guys. Newcastle face a potentially hefty fine after breaching UEFA financial rules. UEFA has refused to accept the 133 million profit from the sale of St. James's Park to a sister company. So they tried to do the Chelsea thing. Remember last year, Chelsea, they're fucked. they're screwed with PSR and FFP. And the next thing you know, they're like, this stadium, Chelsea have sold it. Who have they sold it to? Blueco. You go, that's not really selling it. That's like me selling this Huel to myself and going, well, different. This hand now no longer has nothing in it. So this one does. And you go, but your arms and hands are still connected to your body. So you still have it. The only thing I would say in defense of Newcastle would be just like, what's the difference? What's the difference if you allowed it for Chelsea, but maybe that was Premier League and this is UEFA? I don't know. I don't know, again, too much. But But because of that, Newcastle, they've got their troubles financially. So they're going to, you would think, have to sell one midfielder, maybe another. That's where the Tonali thing comes into it. So we know that, going back to it, Anderson, Wharton, Tonali, what other midfielders? Baleba, who else has been linked with moves away in the summer? I know you'll let me know in the chat, but we all know that they're in that pool. They're on the move this summer, and it's just a case of who goes where. And because no one really knows the answers to that at the moment, we're getting what we've had the last few days, which is we just get linked with everyone, don't we? And I really don't think that, a lot of the journos know. I think obviously back in the day, we used to have more leaks than a sieve. And back in the day, the journos did know. They did know. All right, Man United linked with this, but didn't know that. And you get a lot of agent talk, but I think, Man United, certainly under Ed Woodward, I think he almost kind of liked it. He liked people talking about us, because at least they're talking, even if they're talking badly. I like them talking about us, even if everyone's laughing at us. Whereas now, I do think things are a bit more shielded. We've seen it in the last few windows under Ineos. No one knows until I keep saying it, until David Ornstein comes out and does the siren. Man United are going after this person. That's the story, isn't it? Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, it's David Ornstein. He'll get the scoop, and then it's like Man United going after Lenny Oro. He's flying over to Carrington now. Oh, Man United going after Brian Mbeumo. There'd been rumors and stuff. They'd go, right, okay, this is happening. Man United are ahead of Newcastle now. They've entered the race to get Benjamin Šeško. And you go, right, we're getting Šeško. So with a lot of this, it's a lot of noise, isn't it? The whole midfielder thing, it's a lot of noise because it's an easy story to sell. We know we need midfielders. We need not just one, we need like 2 or 3. It's a midfielders market this summer. So naturally, we're going to be involved. It's a big summer for United anyway, because we're going to get a new coach. We're going to get a bunch of new players. Hopefully, we're going to be back in the Champions League. And the Premier League is just in a really strange state at the moment, whereby despite everything that we have been through over the last 18 months, with being one of the worst teams in the league, we have been last season, certainly not obviously this season, but we've been a really shit team for a while, losing all the time, winning one game a month. To fast forward now to be in 3rd position in the league and actually have a bit of momentum and a bit of good feeling about us, especially in comparison to other teams. When you look at Chelsea and go, okay, now they've got Rafinha in, out of his depth, he's going to probably end up going. And look at their squad. They need to buy 1 million more players. Again, Liverpool, he spent 400 million last summer, and they need to spend another 400 million, it feels like. And Arne Slot, he knows what his future is going to look like. Man City is still Man City, but it's not the Man City that it once was. And Pep's future is always up in the air now every single season. Arsenal, probably going to win the league this season. Very good squad. But yeah, there's a weird feeling about Arsenal, isn't there? You know what I mean? Because of their style of play. How sustainable is that maybe in the long term, but sustainable enough to win titles and be in the conversation the last few seasons. So they'll be there and thereabouts. But just over 18 months ago, 2 years ago, there was this kind of feeling of, we can maybe get high in the league, but we can't break into that City and Liverpool power struggle for the top of the league, or the City, Liverpool, Arsenal power struggle for the top of the league. And now it does kind of feel like, well, if we did have a positive summer, I'm not saying title charge or anything ridiculous like that, but if we do have a positive summer, we can actually make up a lot more ground than maybe we thought. Maybe that's my sort of garbled way I'm trying to get to. What I'm trying to get to here is, and I don't know if you guys agree with that or not. Let me know. But it does feel like if we have a really positive and efficient summer, there's actually a lot of ground we could probably make up on some of these teams, because the Premier League does feel like it is in a kind of flux at the moment of who is going to kind of dominate for the next few years, or is there even going to be this kind of domination over the next few years? Is it just going to be like season to season now? The days of obviously Fergie's dominance is gone, but also Pep and Klopp's. I don't know. I don't know. The Premier League, I just feel like it's in a really weird spot at the moment. It feels like it's ready to be sort of shook up again. And because of the players that we do have in the squad, we've got very talented players, and because of the lay of the land, maybe there is something there for us next season. If we can have a summer, and we're saying, look, we need a summer, we need to sign 5 or 6 players. If we have a summer where we can sign, 2 or 3, top quality midfielders and get in the left winger, maybe we can bridge that gap a little bit. Again, not to the sense of winning the league, but to build on this. I think that's probably the point I'm trying to make, is that that's why I say if Carrick gets the job, which at this point, it does feel quite inevitable. Obviously, he keeps winning games and other people keep ruling themselves out by signing new contracts or not doing very well. I think what his target would be next season would kind of be just more of the same, but obviously you're managing a greater workload. So if Man United, going into next season, I'm really looking at United. My expectations would be, again, would probably be maintenance. It would be get into the Champions League again, go into the knockout stages of the Champions League and see if you can go quite deep in a domestic cup competition, maybe even win it. Because, as many people do point out, look, this season, we're talking about it now. We're playing one game after over 3 weeks because we're not playing any football. We're not in any competitions apart from the Prem. So to go from that to, right, I want you to be competing for the league, and also you're in the Champions League, and also you're in the, going deep in the FA Cup. Also, I want you to be going into, win the Carabao Cup or something like that. That's a big jump, isn't it? So for me, I'd be looking at maintenance. I'd be going, right, continue progressing in the Prem, see if you can maybe bridge the gap a little bit to those top sides, but make sure you qualify for Champions League again. And get to the knockout stages of the Champions League and go deep in a domestic cup competition. And then after the season after that, which, by the way, just so happens to be what? So the end of this season, it's 26. That would be Project 2028. Maybe it's lining up. Maybe it's lining up, right? You get this season, get back into the Champions League. You have a big summer, bringing players in, hopefully doing well in the transfer market. Then next season, it's about maintaining that, stay in the Champions League, hopefully, get to knockout stage of the Champions League and go deep in a cup competition, a domestic cup competition. And then the next season, that's when you're talking about, all right, what's the next step? The next step is really maybe pushing for the title. But that's a lot of steps off. So, yeah, I think that's, even that is still quite an expedited trip to a title. But again, maybe that's just because of the way the Prem is at the moment. The opportunity is kind of there. I don't know. So, but yeah, certainly, and this is where I would kind of already worry a bit for Carrick, if and maybe when he gets the job on a permanent next season, would just be I hope after the start that he's had, I hope the expectation isn't like, right, next season, unless you're competing for the title, I knew you weren't good enough. You know what I mean? Because I think next season has to be the biggest challenge for whoever is in charge next season is balance, isn't it? That's what it has to be. This season, and I don't know about you. I kind of want just a bit of calm. That's why I kind of have enjoyed this Michael Carrick run so far. Is constantly Man United it's over abundance of chaos, isn't it? Constant chaos, whether it is being eliminated from this competition, getting embarrassed in this result, having this, and then off the pitch, you get this, that, and the other. Next season, we've got more games, but I just, again, manage it. You know what I mean? Manage it. I know Daniel Luciano. I know it won't work like that, of course, because remember, we have seen, as TV Thrill says, we don't even have to predict it, TV Thrill. We saw that, when Carrick lost against Newcastle. Going back to that, and this is why always time removed is always the most useful thing to kind of look back on things and realize how ridiculous they were. Michael Carrick came in and won near enough every game. He drew a game against West Ham, but he near enough won every single game. He got this close to Frank getting a haircut, right? And he lost. When was that Newcastle match? Specifically that date. Newcastle versus Man United. When was that Newcastle match? It was on the 4th of March, right? So by that point, Carrick had been in charge for about 3 months. 3 months in, he lost his first match, right? His first match. And there was a genuine conversation of, well, there you go. He's lost his first match. This is why he can't be the coach. And you go, Where have we gone from? Like, we've gone from we were winning one game a month. We were losing more often than we were winning. We go a stretch of like 3 or 4 months where we don't lose a game, and not even like we drew. We won pretty much all of them, bar one. We won them all, right? Skyrocketed up the Premier League. We go from being 11 points behind Aston Villa to being like 3 or 4 points ahead of them. And he lost one game against Newcastle. And that was like, well, he can't be the coach anymore. So you're right, Kristen, and everyone else that was saying that. Heaven forbid when Carrick, if he got it, then he lost a game, because that won't be, he can't be the coach. He can't be the coach. Meanwhile, Ruben Amorim could not win 2 games in a row for like over a year. Over a fucking year. And I was still getting told by scholars that this is what we needed. We need to not win all the time to become a better team. And I'm like, what the actual fuck? And now when a guy who is winning loses one game, that's why he can't be the manager. Make it make sense. I mean, honestly, upside down. I know Stranger Things has ended. Maybe I got stuck in the abyss with what was left of Vecna. I don't know. I don't understand it. I cannot understand that logic. But yes, the point is with that, I think next season, if Carrick were to get it, should be maintenance, and then the season after that. But it does feel like with the Premier League, there is this kind of opportunity that's maybe there to claim some ground. It feels more open than maybe it did a few years ago, and that's opportunity. That's opportunity. But at the same time, looking that far ahead, I suppose, is dangerous, because this time last year, I mean, think how much can change in football. Wait, in life, but think how much certainly in football can change in 12 months. 12 months ago, Liverpool, best team in England, dominant, easily winning the Premier League. Arne Slot, no problem. Easy. Liverpool signed the right Dutchman. We signed the wrong one. We got Ten Hag, they got Arne Slot. They win the league. We, have madness, but we also a couple of trophies. But yeah, fast forward 12 months later, Liverpool, they might not even qualify for Champions League this season. Last summer, there was the feeling of, right, it's the Liverpool dominance period now, isn't it? They've just won the league. They're going to sign arguably the best striker in the league, and Alexander Isak, or one of them. They're going to be getting Florian Wirtz from the Bundesliga. Fucking, they're amazing. 12 months later, they might not even get them the Champions League, and they've got to spend more money. So a lot can change very quickly, And again, that's maybe why this summer is so important for Manchester United, because if you can get it right, you can do a lot in a very short period of time. And actually, going back, I suppose, to the Ruben conversation, it doesn't always have to take, this sort of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 year plan. It doesn't have to. You don't, like I go back to, you don't have to lose all the time. you don't have to. Granted, some things take time. You can't have stuff happen overnight, but a lot can change very, very quickly in football and in the Premier League. So you never know. Zuta, also with the super chat, once again says, but I compliment you too, boss man Owen. Why does Daddy Flex hate me? Well, I don't think hate, Zuta, I don't think hate. Hate's a strong word, Maybe he's uncomfortable. Maybe he just doesn't like, the being complimented. I don't know. I struggle sometimes with compliments. Maybe it's part of that. Perhaps. Maybe. We shall see. What it also, by the way, I saw, again, I didn't see all the match, so I can't give a proper, honest and educated take on it. But for those that did watch, what were the thoughts on the England's Kobbie and Elliot Anderson pairing last night in midfield? I know a lot of people were talking about that. They were going, we're gonna see a bit of a pairing there. Maybe this is going to be, and then other people sort of said, well, this is it won't work for Man United if he came in. That's why. Or I saw there was once again the Kobbie discussion after the match. MUFC, Kobbie overrated because he didn't do very well in this game. And it's like, it gives a fuck. I mean, it's just with Kobbie now. I'm trying to think of who he's become similar to with just the online conversation around him. Maybe it is. Maybe it is sort of into that Pogba territory at United, where I actually do kind of worry for him, Jeff. Paul Merson settings. I do, because I'll see him have, I think, an okay game. Maybe he's not great, but not bad either. You'll see him have an okay game. And the viciousness of which sometimes he is spoken about or he is debated about already, honestly, it is quite alarming, really, because even games for Man United, you see him play, again, fine. It's, what's Kobbie doing? Oh, this is Kobbie, get out of this overinflated ego and this, that, and the other. And you go, overinflated? Where have you seen this? Where is that coming from? You know, it was the same thing that people were criticizing him for wanting to play earlier this season. I didn't get that as well. How dare Kobbie want to play football? Shouldn't everyone? Shouldn't everyone want to play? You know, even this season when he was like allegedly, or he wasn't knocking on the door, because that became a thing about whether he had or hadn't spoken to the coach and this, that, and the other. But how dare Kobbie want to maybe, you know, go out on loan and play football? He's a football player. Of course, he's going to want to play football. And like I said last night, I didn't watch all the game, but I've seen it when United play, and I have been watching some of those where, like I say, I think he'll be okay, not overly good. So I don't see the need to overhype or overrate. Oh, he's amazing this game. You go, no, he's just fine. But it was just, there's also no need to go right on the other end of be like, he's just so overhyped and he's overrated. What does he even do? He was just passing it around in midfield, and yeah, he gave the ball away. He's a midfielder. It happens, you know. And and you just sort of go, why? You know what I mean? Why? And I think almost we as United fans have to be a bit careful, because remember, in a World Cup season, the press, they're vicious. We saw it going into the last Euros. That there will be, before, maybe, I don't know, a couple of weeks before the start of the World Cup, there will likely be a story in the paper or in the media going in on a young English player. I can't say who it is at the moment, but it happens every time, every tournament. Even Erik ten Hag, I remember after he won the FA Cup and he did that interview with Alan Shearer and Gary Lineker, where they were a bunch of pricks to him. And he was like, they spoke about Kobbie. And I remember him saying at the time, because they were praising Kobbie because he played well in the final. And he basically went, you're talking nice about him now, but you will be the first to drive him into the ground if he has a bad moment or a tough moment. And then it was like a week after that, or 2 weeks after that, he was playing in a friendly before the Euros. And I can't remember who we were playing. Was it Iceland? Might have been Iceland. But we conceded the goal and they tried to put it on Kobbie, and everyone saw it straight away. Just like, there you go, major tournament straight away. So I think maybe we as fans need to be a little bit careful of this just going in for the sake of going in, because it will become something. And when it becomes something, it's easier for the media just to pick up on it and everyone go, yeah, it's great, it's fine. Like, for some reason, Kobbie's become this lightning rod, particularly if we do badly, you know, particularly if we do badly or we have a bad result. He's become this lightning rod of, if for whatever reason you weren't on board with Amorim going, or you weren't on board with Carrick coming in as the interim, or you're not on board with something, he becomes the lightning rod for that. You know, Man United lost today. This is what you get. I told you, Kobbie Mainoo, and you go, Kobbie's nothing to do with that. Like, we lost. Like, what we individually, it's not. You know what I mean? It's like, so I've noticed it. You know what I mean? I've noticed it. I'm keeping it at arm's length as a United fan, but it is there. And I just feel like with England in the summer, that avalanche is coming, which is kind of concerning. All Elite says people are not ready to have a chat about Kobbie. He's not ready. Just needs to be rotated in time to develop. If you say this, you're toxic. And I disagree with that. I disagree because was it Monday? It was Monday on the red carpet. When we were talking about midfielders, and I've actually said this quite a lot. I think us signing 2 or 3 midfielders is the best thing for Kobbie because I don't think he should start every game. I mentioned that before. I don't think Kobbie should be this guaranteed start every single week, one of the first names on the team sheet, because I think there's only maybe 1 player, 2 players in the United squad that should be guaranteed first names on the team sheet, and that's probably Bruno and probably Lomans at this point. Everyone else, they can come in and out of the team. Next season, we're going to have that much more with rotation. So, if anything, like I said, I push back on that because KG mentioned it on the red carpet on Monday when we were talking about midfielders, and he said, "Oh, what's so Kobbie's going to be on the bench? Is that going to start again?" And as I mentioned before, that for me anyway, there's nothing inherently wrong with a player starting on the bench. There isn't. This is why I've been so sort of defensive on the whole Šeško thing recently. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, not starting a game, but finishing a game and having a decisive moment in it. I think that's good management. I think it's good coaching to hold people back because the games evolve. So Kobbie shouldn't be this guaranteed starter. He's 20? He's no 20-year-old should have a guaranteed starting space at Man United. Should be going in, going out, depends on the game, depends on, who's available, who you're playing against, etc. The reason probably why now he's so integral into the team is we've got no midfielders. You got Casemiro and Kobbie. That's all we've got. You're not going to start Ugarte, are you? You're going to start Mason Mount. Who's he? So we don't really have many options. So that's at the moment, he should be starting. But if you've got a proper squad, then no, Kobbie shouldn't be starting every game. Of course he shouldn't. My pushback is I don't see why every time there's a negative result, for some reason that turns into a Kobbie debate. Because it just feels easy in the same way that it was with like Pogba. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, Paul Pogba, he would have really good games, he'd have really bad games, and he'd have average games. But you talk about him after every game, even in some games where he wasn't even really that involved. And it was just, you go, oh, does everything have to be his fault? do we have to? You know what I mean? So, I think next season, I would hope anyway, Kobbie shouldn't be starting every single game because I don't think he should. I don't think any 20-year-old should. It should be rotational. The biggest problem with Kobbie's career in general at Manchester United so far has been meteoric rise. He's involved in everything, including the country, getting to national tournament finals, to nothing because he didn't play under Ruben, to back to being somewhat integral again. And I just think for someone's development, that stop-start is quite worrying. It needs to be in and out of the team, but managed well, going, right, we've got a lot of midfielders. Maybe not the starting midfielder. You start this game, you'll be taken out for this game. You've got the Champions League coming up. You play for that game. That's not the issue. And to be honest, like I said, I think that's kind of escalating the issue. That's not really the issue that I'm concerned with. My issue is just after every game, every bad pass, it turns into, well, we need to have a Kobbie conversation. You go, no, we don't actually. No, we don't. It was just a pass, or it's just a bad game. You don't have to have the conversation every single time because there isn't really a conversation to have. He's 20. If anything, the more appropriate conversation is how can Manchester United get more players into that position, and you spread the ease the burden for everyone, not just Kobbie. If Casemiro was staying another season, you'd say the same thing about him. He can't be that integral. You need some alternatives. We need more. I might go back to it. Who at the moment, who would you start? Who else would you start? You don't start anyone else apart from Kobbie or Cass in midfield. You just don't. So it's a case of the options. Next season, if we go into next season, it's still a situation. It's whoever's starting next to Kobbie and Kobbie. That's the only 2 midfielders we've got. Then we've got a serious issue. Serious issue. We should next season have a situation where we've got, 4 or 5 top quality midfielders there, and you can take in and out. So maybe that's also part of it, right? Maybe that's also part of why the Kobbie thing gets a lot of scrutiny. Obviously, he's an academy player. He's English. We don't have a bunch of other midfielders with Amrim stuff. So it's just lightning rod onto him. Hopefully next season, get more players in, spread it around a little bit, and maybe the conversation will go away a little bit. It won't. It's Man United. They never go away. So there you go, guys. That is the morning show for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if indeed you are new. More content on the horizon. If there's any news or developments, of course. Actually, I really should be using this time to get the lemons down, shouldn't I? You know what I mean? All right, here we go. I'll stay on till it's finished. You know, none of that bullshit. Horrible, Asher. Honestly. Oh. Why is this one even worse? Oh. I know, Asher. I know. It's not good. Oh. Absolutely gross. I've got 24 of those motherfuckers too. Oh. Anyway, guys, my eyes are watering. Anyway, guys, have a good morning. Don't say we don't put it on the live for you guys. And we'll be back. More content soon. Isn't that right, Asher? Say goodbye. You wave. I forgot you can't speak. You're a dog. I'm out of here. Peace.